This month was traumatizing. I got a flat tire while I was with a client and spent $1,200 to replace all four tires, plus my brake lights. My two first-time homebuyers did end up closing, so I want to go over the questions that came up during these transactions. But first, if you weren't aware, I have three dogs. There's King Rufus Jethro III. He's 2, and Angel and Layla are both 13. Actually, no, Angel turned 14 in March. The first question that came up was getting a second appraisal. Side note, I want you to hear how my dog is greeted at daycare.
Good morning, King. Hi, baby. Good morning, baby. Good morning.
He never sits at home, and this actually hurts my feelings that he does not even care that I'm there. But anyway, the question was getting a second appraisal because they didn't agree with the value. For context, the transaction was as is. It was under contract for about $215, and it ended up praising well over the purchase price. However, the area comps for as is was about $150 to $200, and the flips were about $300. As the buyer, you are allowed to challenge the appraisal if you don't agree with the comps. So you do not have to order a second appraisal. So here I'm actually going to meet my broker to deliver the Earnest deposit check because we had an issue and I had to make sure that we passed our audit for compliance. Another question that came up was, what is the purpose of the final walkthrough if this house is as is? The real purpose is making sure the house is in reasonable condition for you to get your keys. There's been no vandalism. The seller hasn't removed items that weren't supposed to be removed. And you just want to triple check that everything is good, very close to closing. I typically don't do the walkthroughs more than 2 days before closing, but I like to go an hour before closing. Another big issue was the home inspection. So a home inspector is just a generalist. Sometimes there are limitations, like you can't test the AC in the winter. They can't remove certain things without the seller's permission. You also just can't show up to the house whenever you want to without getting an appointment. So here I'm actually just checking the survey sticks prior to closing. In Delaware, some of the exit clauses are the inspections, especially for radon and termite and pest inspection. So they're really important to make sure that we can complete in a timely manner, and we request all the repairs that we need to up front. Fun fact is, many people don't realize we actually have a whole network of agents. So my family in New Jersey was selling their house, and I did like a preliminary walkthrough when they were going to sell. But this started back in January, and the agent, Tez, that I always work with, she is so amazing. Check this out. They had about 100 people at the open house. They accepted an offer above list price, and my aunt and uncle will be moving in next month, I think. This is what happens when you prep correctly. She does an amazing job, so if you are in need in New Jersey, I highly recommend Tez. One of the most frustrating things about my job is people trying to tell me what my job is. And the biggest thing is that you hire the professional to protect you in the event that something goes wrong. But this is also a business. I have my own schedule. I'm a part of several committees. My business hours, I'm very strict because I cannot be in multiple places at once. So while I recommend interviewing agents and professionals and lenders that might work best for your needs, I also want to make sure that I'm clarifying that we are human. We have to have lives. We have to, make sure we take care of our families and take care of ourselves. So it's just not really realistic to be on call 24/7. But I also acknowledge that clients don't necessarily care about your personal problems. So like my oldest, Layla, she ended up having a cardiac event and she had to be resuscitated. And I still have to show up as myself. And, that's not an excuse to not do what you need to do for your clients. I hope you found this helpful. I look forward to doing this more often and just kind of letting you get to know more about me and my my dogs, I guess. Feel free to reach out with any questions.